Thank you to Carol Farrar, our harpist, for opening our ceremony. My name is Allison Chambers. I am an occupational therapist with Niagara Region Mental Health, and I will be your MC for this year's Memorial Forest Vigil. Welcome to all of you who are joining us online this year. Normally, we would all gather at the Memorial Forest site at the Glen Ridge Quarry Naturalization Site for this event. However, with limited numbers permitted to meet in person, we are happy to provide an online option as well this year. Though an online event could never replace the unique experience of an in-person event, we hope this vigil can still be a very memorable and special experience for all of you who are not able to attend in person this year. It is especially important in times like these, times of great change and uncertainty, to connect and support one another. We host this vigil every year during Mental Illness Awareness Week, which is an annual national public education campaign designed to help open the eyes of Canadians to the reality of mental illness. This has become a yearly time of remembering, which started with a small group of Niagara Region mental health staff who wanted to develop a way to commemorate and honor the courageous lives of people who touched our hearts in the course of our work with them. Some retired staff continue to join us for the event each year. Our planning committee has expanded to include many passionate members within public health, lived experience members in our community, as well as various partners including the Canadian Mental Health Association, Distress Centre Niagara, and Positive Living Niagara. It is so important to the self-care of our spirits that we have places and times to remember like today. We are remembering those who have loved, those who have imprinted themselves on us, not only those born into our families, but people that have for one reason or another crossed our life paths and became dear to our hearts. If you received a hard copy invitation this year, you may have also received a memory seedling card in your invite. This card includes some valuable information about why mental health matters. It also features the symbolism of the green ribbon and provides a detachable green seeded paper ribbon which you can use to plant your own memory garden at home. Green signifies new life, new growth, and new beginnings, so please help us increase mental illness awareness by planting the seeds of mental wellness and growth. If you did not receive this keepsake and would like one, please contact Niagara Region Mental Health and we would be happy to provide you with one. I now want to introduce Kathy Vriend. Kathy is a clinical team manager with Niagara Region Mental Health, and she is going to take a moment to talk about staff, grief, and loss.
This year at the Memorial Forest ceremony, we would like to take some time at this event to acknowledge our mental health staff, grief and loss. We can get lost in our role as caregivers and push our feelings aside and just keep going. We often do not have the opportunity or take the opportunity to reflect on our client's life and how this death has impacted us as well. This year and in the years to come, please consider if you would like to participate more fully at this event, if a formal ceremony is part of your grieving process. This could be a poem, a memory, or just the opportunity for a moment of silence with those who understand the complicated nature of your loss. I do visit the Memorial Forest as well and spend some time looking at the names and remembering my clients, and this spot has been very helpful to me. This is something I wrote for myself when I lost a client a couple of years ago now to help me process what I was feeling. I miss you. I miss you when I hear about how the laws are changing and how you knew they would, and how you were going to fight for changes to make things better for everyone. I miss you when I walk into a Tim Hortons and I think of your smile and how you were going to make that a better place too. I miss you when I drive over the Skyway, and I think of you driving to Toronto every day to finish that university degree, even when you were exhausted. You were so brave, so strong. I'll keep trying without you, but it's not the same. I wanted you to write me a letter when I was old and retired, saying how you were doing great and life was easier now. But you're gone, and I'm not going to get that letter, and I miss you. Thanks. I want to take this time now. I'm pleased to introduce our guest speaker for today's vigil, Harrison Wheeler. Harrison is an inspirational speaker, a cartoonist, and mental health champion. He's passionate about the link between creativity and mental wellness. Harrison holds a BA in elementary education from McGill University and a master's diploma in education and digital technology from the University of Ontario Institute of Technology. Overcoming 10 plus years in recovery, Harrison attributes his creativity to have been a transformative force for self-actualization, leading him to overcome mental, physical, and spiritual adversity. Harrison has 30 years of experience as a performer and a creator. In his youth, he was a scholarship trumpet player and sang in the Montreal Symphony. On stage, he has won Best in Show Comedy Awards and critical acclaim at the Montreal, Hamilton, and Stratford Fringe Festivals. Harrison is the creator of Jester's Incognito, a YA novel and one-man show. As a peer support worker with the Canadian Mental Health Association, Harrison is combining this lived experience with his postgraduate work in education and many talents to rebrand and improve mental health. Please welcome Harrison Wheeler.
Hi there, my name is Harrison Wheeler, and I just want to start this video by saying thank you for the opportunity to share my story of recovery. I hope that anybody who's listening to it, who's struggling right now, may gain a sense of hope. And there is hope for living with mental illness, especially in this day and age. Speaking of time, probably the best way to start my story of recovery is to get in the Wayback Machine and go back to 1999. That's when I was living in Montreal, just finishing up my degree in education, and I was experiencing what the health professionals call a drug-induced psychosis or a psychotic break. If you've never had a psychotic break before, A, I don't recommend it, and B, it's kind of like having a coffee break on Mars. It's terrifying. I don't recommend it. I didn't sleep for days. I didn't eat for days. I didn't speak to anyone for days. I was having auditory and visual hallucinations, and I was suicidal. Now, what leads a person to a psychotic break, you might ask? Well, in my opinion, it's not really genetics so much as it is environmental and trauma-based. I went to McGill University as a scholarship trumpet player. And my trauma was that in my first year, I lost the ability to play. I damaged a nerve in my upper lip from practicing too much, rendering me unable to play my instrument ever again. This was a major blow for me at the age of 19, 20 years old, because that's what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know what else to do with my life. So I ended up staying at university and kind of drifting throughout different programs, eventually leading into education, where I got a degree as a kindergarten, elementary, ESL teacher, specialist. But it was at the end of my university where I really plummeted. You add the depression and the trauma of having lost my ability to play my instrument and substance abuse, something's going to give, right? And that's what happened to me. Throughout university, I just got more and more depressed. I eventually found marijuana in my last year of university, and I loved it because it was the first time that I could, kind of slow down and think properly and feel good. And it felt like it lifted my doldrums, so to speak. I went from smoking once a month to finding myself smoking daily, often multiple times daily. And then we are led back to the beginning of my story where I had my psychotic break. Now, what follows is a 23-year recovery, and the pattern is exactly the same, more or less. I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was 25, so about a year after university, I was diagnosed as I entered hospital for the first time. And the pattern was pretty simple. They put me on medications. I wouldn't feel that great on medications, so I'd go off my medications. I'd start using marijuana again, and I'd use it to the point where I'd have another psychosis or another psychotic break, and hospitalized again. And this happened again and again and again, to the point where I've spent probably 3 to 4 years of my life in hospital. And it was so bad that I finally reached a point where my family, thank God, and my friends rallied and helped me stop the pattern. I got off marijuana. I joined Narcotics Anonymous. One of the best decisions I ever made, I should say. English teacher, good job. I stayed on my medications that the doctors recommended, and my life flourished. I, have had gainful employment since doing all those changes. I have a wonderful woman in my life, my wife, beautiful home. I've written a novel. I've done my master's diploma in education. And now I'm happy to say that I'm spending most of my time sharing my story and my time with other people who are going through their own mental illness journey. So really it boils down to 5 different things that I follow in order to stay clean and stay balanced. One is I just listen to the doctors and I stay on my medication. That's paramount. 2, I don't use any substances. And that's from marijuana all the way down to caffeine. 3, creativity. This is extremely important to me, and I've done a lot of work around this myself, and I've done a lot of public speaking about this. If I'm not drawing or writing or playing music or something, then I can get down in the doldrums in a big way. It's really important for me to express myself, and I feel like that's something I recommend for a lot of people. 4 is community. Highly recommend building a community around you. Isolating obviously is not the way to go in terms of healing. And number 5 is love. Love for yourself, forgiveness for yourself, love for others, and I think through that, purpose can be found, and a meaningful life can be made. So, anyways, that's my story. Thanks so much for listening, and here's to happy mental health for all.
Thank you, Harrison, for sharing in such a personal way about your life journey. You set a courageous example for all of us to be more open with each other and about our own challenges with mental health, and that there is recovery. There is hope. At this time, one of our client advisory committee members with Niagara Region Mental Health, Lisa Corte, will read the names of those individuals who appear on nameplates at Memorial Forest. These nameplates honor family and friends who have passed on after battling mental illness and have left footprints on our hearts.
Andre S., Ronald Youngblood, Bernie Ohm Jr., Enzo Martino, Jason Ramuno, Charlotte Gray, Billy Soper, The Boxer, Barry S., Jeff S., Jerry Carroll, Imelda DaCosta, Maggie Hills, Aileen Hood, Robin Hood Jr., Alan Hood, Wanda Kubczynski, Charlene W., Barb P., Connie N., Donna W., Caroline Campbell, Rose Carrick, David N. Smith, Chad Darren Gibson, Phyllis S., Robert Boo Rocafort, Victor G., Marion Murphy, Noel LaRock, Senna Mae Secord, Susan K., Bradley Delia, Carlos J., artist, Noah Superstar Kurland, Bill Shaw, Barbara H., William John J., Scott Butcher, Jason Kierton, David Herson, Joe Petrangelo, Peggy, Ron James, Ryan Ziperi, Barry S.J. Crump, Brenda P. Crump, Eugene, Al Tex, Robert Pico, Dan Sloan, Courtney Schooley, Kyle Hilton McIntyre, Kayla Ford, John H., Sydney Mines, Leslie, who adored animals, Tony Mingle, Yvonne Sean Guignard, lost but not forgotten, Vincent, Paige Glika, Ron Rush, Rattan, Benjamin Trommels, missing since February 2016, gone but not forgotten, Vera Evans, Alain Palais, Matthew Rodney Sutherland, Andre Matty, Helen L. Kovacs, Jeremy Sr., Uncle Jesse, Shelley, my brother John, Thomas James Jamie Ryan IV, Rob Gibson, Eugene Robert Eugene Pico, Kurt H., Kathleen C., Chad Morris, all my love, Amos Severy, Edmund B. Ron, for all those we have lost to overdose, Vincenzo Nobel, Health Keith Murphy, Bradley M. Jenkins, Ellen M. Burns, Matthew Lennon, Paul John Coulter, Sarah, and in loving memory of Scott Vale.
Thank you, Lisa. Let's take a moment to remember and honor these individuals who were just mentioned, as well as those who were not mentioned, but who we are remembering today. We will now share in a moment of silence. At this time, I would like to introduce Deb Pierce. Deb has been singing at the Memorial Forest Vigil for many years now, and this event is near and dear to her heart. Once again, Deb will gift us with a beautiful song. During the in-person vigil this year, those who have attended will have the opportunity to put hope rocks into the garden at Memorial Forest during Deb's song. We would like to thank the REACT youth who spent many hours designing these hope rocks for this event. REACT is a youth-led advocacy group promoting healthy lifestyles within Niagara. It's a group of high school students across the region who educate their peers on a variety of health issues. We will show a few of the rocks they designed during this video today. Please welcome Deb. Thank you, Deb, for giving us all a few moments to reflect in such a beautiful way. The Memorial Forest is a space of 4 seasons. We invite you and others in our community to visit the site all year round. It's a place where you can escape from the busyness of life, quiet your mind, and remember. It's important to acknowledge that the land on which we have the Memorial Forest is Aboriginal land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. As settlers, we're grateful for the opportunity to share the land. We thank all the generations of Indigenous people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. They were the stewards of this area. In particular, we acknowledge that Niagara Region is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Chippewa, and Haudenosaunee peoples. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. The broader naturalization site is also a place for you to visit whenever you wish to walk, to practice mindfulness, to explore, and of course to be with your loved ones. There are various trails, a boardwalk, a pond, and a beautiful vantage point where on a clear day you can see buildings in Toronto, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls. More information can be found at www.niagararegion.ca. Thank you, friends and family, colleagues in mental health, and all of who have joined us online for this event. Also, thank you to the following people who helped plan and be part of this event: the Memorial Forest Planning Committee, Kathy Vreend and Lisa Corte, Harrison Wheeler, our guest speaker, Deb Pierce, our soloist, Carol Farrar, our harpist, Brandon Agnew, our guitarist, who will close our vigil today, the REACT team for designing the Hope Rocks for the Memorial Forest Garden, Erin Rising, who is the coordinator at Niagara Community Garden Network, and Brandon Agnew, who both helped clean up and maintain the garden this summer and fall at the Memorial Forest site. Finally, we want to thank all of our donors to the Memorial Forest. Thank you all for joining us today, and we welcome you to please join us again in coming years. I will now welcome Brandon Agnew, a community health broker with Niagara Region Public Health, as well as a Memorial Forest community member, who will close our vigil with a song he has written.
The song is called Everything is Beautiful. There ain't no time like the present time, no space like the present space, no love like the kind of love you bring into the present time. And when days get long and you're not feeling strong, it's okay to just walk away. Find that grace you can hold on to and bring it to the present time. 'Cause everything has beauty, everything has beauty, everything has beauty, Yeah, everything is beautiful. So take someone's hand and in a gentle voice just smile and say you've got the choice. You are loved and you are wonderful. Let's go back into the present time, 'cause there ain't no time like the present time. No space like the present space. No love like the kind of love you bring into the present time. 'Cause everything has beauty. Everything has beauty. Everything has beauty. Yeah, everything is beautiful.